working now? I hear you. I can't hear you if you say no. Can't hear you. I don't, your volume's fine on the thing. I can hear out these earphones, because I can hear that.
Not what I need, not what I need. Why is my mouse not working? Working. Right, is keyboard working? Oh. Keyboard is working, microphone's working. Okay, I think it should work now. Good should be.
There we go. There we go. I can hear you. How about now? Cool. Cool. Jeez, I gotta shut my front door so no murderers come in and fucking... My front door so no murderers...
my goodness, what's happening? After many days of being in the same place, we've reverted back to the dark ages of being in different buildings today.
Oh Christ! It really is the dark
Oh,
ages. As well.
cripes.
We spent the first 20 minutes going, why the fuck isn't this working?
That always ends up happening, though.
Yeah.
To be fair, the microphone issues are the least of our problems. It was the Judd not being conscious to start the podcast was the biggest issue.
Yeah.
What's been going on with you, Judd?
So, I guess I'll just jump straight into it. So on when will this have been? On the Monday, going to work, throat's starting to feel a bit sore, right? Okay. It's nothing bad. It's literally just a sore throat, okay? Right? But Monday passes, forget about it. It's just a sore throat. Forget about it. Okay. Right. Tuesday rolls around. I am in fucking agony. It feels like there are knives in my throat, and I'm also just like not super ill. I'm not like really like sneezing or like puking or anything like that. Just feeling, drained as fuck. But mainly it was the feeling of acid in my throat that was the biggest sort of like fucking
acid throat.
Yeah.
The medical diagnosis of acid throat.
Yeah. So that fucking sucked because I didn't eat anything for the entire day because I couldn't get it down. It was literally too painful to eat. Even drinking water was like drinking liquid razor blades. It fucking hurt so bad. So
I do prefer to have my razor blades in liquid form.
Yeah. But anyway, so, I was feeling really bad, and I told my nan and granddad when I came home, I was like, I've not done well today. Then, I wake up the next morning, I couldn't breathe. I could not breathe. So I freaked out a bit, realized I could breathe through my nose. So it's like, I usually breathe through my nose anyway. But when you realize that you can't like breathe through your throat, that all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, I can't breathe through my throat.
Right.
So, that started freaking me out. So I'm like, I was like between breathing, like taking breaths through my nose, I was like trying to like do it, take deep breaths in. And what I was having to do is it felt like the breaths coming out, I'd have to force past like a barrier. Like, so instead of me going like, it'd be like, like that, because I'm having to force this. I'm having to force this breath through. So I'm like freaking the fuck out because I'm like, what is happening? And I'm in agony as well from it. So I fucking went through to A&E because this is like 4 a.m. Like it's really early. I can't like go to the doctors or something. So I shoot through to A&E. And, it is, I got there for fucking, I think, like, 10 to 5 in the morning, and I was there until 10 o'clock until I, like, got properly sorted out. Which, if I was dying because I couldn't breathe, I think I would have been, they would have called my name and I would have been slumped over in my fucking chair in the waiting room.
That's how the healthcare system works in our country now. It's like we make fun of America being like, oh, you have to pay hundreds of thousands if you've just got a cough. And even then, you're not getting fixed. And ours is, oh, it's free. But we do die. It's like, we will die.
Yeah. It's like you've got like a pay to win system going on in America, but at least you fucking win.
Well, that's very debatable too.
Well, yes, you get them sometimes. Anyway, so I got sorted out eventually, and basically, I still have basically a throat infection,
right,
a really bad one, and so I've not eaten. I'd not eaten all of Tuesday and all of yesterday. Now it's feeling a lot better. I messaged my boss yesterday because I was still feeling really bad yesterday, and I said, look, I've got a throat infection. I'm going to need another day off. So I've had today off as well, but I feel loads better today. It's nowhere. I'm not feeling any pain from my throat now. It's like a mild discomfort. Right. So I've been on these antibiotics. I've been taking like 2 every 4 hours. So I've already had about like 10 or something. And then she also gave me some of this throat spray, which I will demonstrate to you, Jake. Look, here's me using my throat spray.
Aren't you supposed to only do like 2 of those at once?
No, you're supposed to do 8.
Did you read the bottle?
Yeah. You're supposed to do like God. 5 to 8. Yeah.
So I'm used to seeing like 2, maybe 3 squirts, and you just went squirt. Yeah. Who gives a
fuck? It says maximum 3. No, I'm kidding. No, and yeah, so that's supposed to be like a sort of numbing thing. I don't think it super works. But I think these antibiotics have been doing really good.
That's the sort of thing that, to me, if you don't need to have it, then don't have it, type of thing, you know? There's a lot of, like, painkillers and things like that if I can get through the pain, I'll get through the pain. It's worth reserving your tolerance to painkillers and numbing stuff and all of that sort of junk for when you, like, need it. Like, when I broke my arm, it was like, right, painkillers time. I'm ready. They're going to work a treat on me. You know?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, to me, it was agony, so I wanted the pain gone. And especially because, like, I couldn't eat. I was running... For 2 days, I'd not eaten, like, a single thing.
Yeah.
So I was so hungry. I woke up today and I can eat, so I've had, like... I've had a bowl of cereal and a pizza. It's what I've had today, and then I'm probably gonna...
a very healthy diet to help combat the infection.
Yeah. Well, that's what I buy the antibiotics for. If they're not doing it, then, you know, I'm not
then I just want to die. If I have to eat any vegetables to fix this shit, then kill me now.
That's what I'm paying Big Pharma for. Like, you know, if they're not fucking doing it, then
it's
like...
free. NHS is free. We were just saying that it is.
Oh no, I had to pay for I had to pay for my prescriptions.
Oh right, yeah.
So you know, Big Pharma still wins.
Big Pharma always wins in the end.
Yeah. So yeah, basically that's what's been going on, and then I suppose that I don't know, me not being at work's kind of thrown me out of whack. So I don't know, you shouldn't have done though, because like I was talking to my nan earlier. They're not in now. They've gone to see my cousin Jack like near where he's staying in Manchester. But they were saying to me earlier, it's like, what are you going to do about your podcast then? I said, well, I'll just do it from here. So I did know we were doing it today, but I've completely forgot. So sorry.
It's all right. It doesn't matter too much. We've probably got more time anyway, because we'll not be playing Disco Elysium after this, which we have been because of obviously Judd not being here. But yeah, okay, cool. Judd nearly dies in his sleep because he can't breathe.
I nearly died in my sleep because I couldn't breathe. So that's what I've been up to. Yeah.
Oh dear. It's almost as if like it's weird that, you know, that smoking that you've been doing like has given you some sort of, it's not fought off the throat infection. What a weird.
That's shit. That's what I should have done. I should have smoked out the fucking infection. That's what I should have done. I should have gassed it out.
It's almost like things like that cause infections in your throat, and it is actually incredibly terrible for you, and one of the most stupid things you could ever do.
Well, you know what? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We'll smoke a fat doobie and we'll forget about the whole thing.
No, it's not funny. I'm laughing in pain. That's what I'm laughing for.
I brought that up to her. I brought that up to her, and I said, "Is it because I do that?" And she said no, because, and it can be because of that, but she said no specifically because this, you know, what the fuck are they called? You have some glands in your throat. I can't remember the name of the glands, but that, like, here, just below your jaw and your throat. And basically what they do during a throat infection is they like swell to, like, when it drains all the infection out of your throat. So if it would have been, now maybe because I've been smoking, I'm more likely to get the throat infection.
100%. That's not maybe. That's not maybe. Yeah. That's like definitely. Well, that's like as proven as fucking gravity at this point.
Well,
It was the glands that were actually causing you the main problem swelling up, but like the root cause of this is the infection, which is almost entirely your own fault. So, what's the lessons learned from this, Judd?
I haven't learned any lesson.
That's as much as I expected.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's a momentous occasion, Judd. I can't believe I missed it, but we need to get onto this important tradition that we have. Because I'm a Celebrity, Jesus, Get Me Out of Here is back.
Yeah.
I can't believe I missed it. Normally I see the adverts and I get excited, but the first I heard of it was like the first episode had come out, and I was like, "Oh shit, I've missed this!" Like I need to. I always watch it every year, and the tradition that we have is I go down the lineup of people who are going to be on the show or are already on it, and I tell Judd their names, and he has to tell me if he knows them or not. If you know them, then great. If not, you have to guess what they do.
I can tell you right now, I know one of them.
I know you know one of them because I sent Judd a couple stupid videos that if you follow us on Twitter at tweetsbadly or akx.com, I posted them on Twitter as well because it was just these. Oh my god, it's just so predictable. As iDubbbz once said, it's predictable as a house tour. It's the joke that they made was this like. Middle-aged, she's, how old is this woman? 38? Yeah, the perfect age for this sort of joke. And she's like, I should be able to handle the snakes in the junction because I've dated a few, or something like that. That's so fucking funny! Yeah, that's really funny! Yeah.
Is that it?
That's how I picture her laughing after off camera afterwards. And then fucking Big Farage, which we'll get to later, makes the same fucking joke about politics within 5 minutes. Like literally within
it's
5
minutes. It's literally
minutes.
the same joke, but it's like instead of he literally swaps the words relationship with politics, and it's the same joke.
Basically. It's one of those things that's like become mega predictable, but it's like a comfort watch every year for me. And I do like watching it because like the challenges and stuff, it's like watching a pretty decent YouTube video every day, you know? But there's also more stuff. You know, it is quite... I still quite like it. Again, as I've been saying for years at this point, though, bring back the drama. You know, it's just gotten so like hand-holdy. Aren't we all friends? We'll get through this together. Fuck off. Bring back the drama. Bring back people fucking screaming at each other in the middle of a jungle. That's what we need in this shit. I was saying as I was going on one of my evening walks that
to yourself.
Not to myself, to my girlfriend. That if I could go on any of the like reality shows that I know of, it would be I'm a Celebrity. I just think it'd be the most interesting. But if I ever went on it, I would go in, literally, you know when they do like the interviews and shit beforehand as they're going in? I'd be saying, I'm gonna make Celebrity great again. Drama, you got it, baby. I'm here for it. I'm gonna cause it all.
You'd win. I'm telling you now, you'd win. The people they keep voting you.
I don't think they would nowadays. I think back in the day, what used to happen is the people who would cause drama like that would get kept in until kind of the last bit where they'd vote that like the person they actually liked the most as the winner, because they wanted to keep people in for the drama and to make them do loads of challenges and shit. So but nowadays I don't think that'd happen. I think they'd just get no votes and get voted off straight away because people don't like them. So it's hard to say, but that's what I predict would happen. But it was just so much better like that. If I went in, I wouldn't actively seek out drama. I'd just turn off the filter that I normally have in day-to-day life And like someone would be on about like, oh, it's so cute. I'm so happy. I want loads of kids. Me, I like like picture like 20-year-old celebrity, 20-year-old attractive female that they put in there because there's always one of them, isn't there? And they'd be saying, oh, I want loads of kids. I want like 6 kids, and I'd be like, are you a fucking idiot? The planet's about to blow with how many people there are. Stop trying to spawn loads of sprogs, you fucking moron. Close your fucking legs. And I just say shit like that to them. And everyone would be like, what? I just do it. Because again, that's what people want to see. They want to see the drama. They don't know it, but they really do want it. But we'll get to some of that anyway. Here's what we're doing. I'm going to go down the list of who is in the jungle or going to be in the jungle. And then I'll say each person's name. Judd has to tell me if he knows them or not, and if you don't know them, you have to guess what they do. Then after that, I'll tell you if we like each person or not so far. I've only seen the first 2 episodes as of recording this, so yeah. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
First person is Jamie Lynn Spears.
She's because I know one of them is a MasterChef presenter. It's not her, is it?
No, it's not hers.
Okay,
think about it, Judd. Jamie Lynn Spears. You can get this.
She spears. She's an athlete.
Fuck me.
No.
Think about that name, Judd. Jamie Lynn Spears.
Oh, wait, is she? Wait, no, I know she's Britney Spears' sister.
There you go. You got it. Well done.
I knew that one actually because Nan told me.
So, right. Yeah. She's 32, and this is gonna be. I don't know if you're gonna get this or not. She looks like good looking, but older than that. If that makes sense.
No, I've seen her because they had Nan and Grandad had I'm a Celebrity on when I walked in the other day.
Yeah,
and I know what you mean. She if you would have asked me how old she were, I would have said 40 something, but like a good looking 40 something.
She looks like she should look good for her age, but is 38. You know, and but actually she's just like looks. Her age.
She just looks mature, 32. Doesn't she? She just looks like a more good-looking, mature woman.
Yeah, she does have some sort of maturity to her look. She knows fuck all about anyone else in there. She doesn't know any of them.
She's just like me for real.
So far she's had a bit of a cry out of nowhere, and I don't know. I don't really hate her or anything, but you know, I don't appreciate someone just like just crying about like being paid loads of money to do this fun thing. I just think it's a bit of a little bitch thing to do. So don't really mind it too much, but I'm not a fan. Next, we've got that woman who said the stupid fucking snake joke. It's Josie Gibson.
Oh, I'm just going to say this with everyone. Is he the presenter from Master Kitchen, whatever the kitchen show is called? Oh.
She's a TV presenter, though. She's a host on This Morning.
Did she take over for... Oh, no, wait, that's Good Morning Great, but no, I'd go on.
Oh yeah, no, it's not. She didn't take over for Nonce and Drunk.
Nonce
the Nonce and the Drunk. that's what I call them. Anyway, she seems all right. I mean, she's a bit normie cringe to me, but she doesn't seem that scared of getting stuck into stuff and seems nice enough. So don't mind her, but I'm not thrilled by her. Next, we have I don't quite know how to pronounce half of this name. Fred Syrier. Fred Syrier.
Is he the influencer?
Fred Syrier. I think that's how you would say it.
Is he the influencer?
No.
Okay, because I know there's an influencer one as well. No, I've no idea what he does.
He is like a celebrity chef. He's like a TV presenter, chef man. He's all right. I kind of like him. He's been doing his cook duties. He kind of like, I like that he's a bit no nonsense and don't like all the like talking about shit before they get on with it. So like he had to do a trial or something like when he first entered, and he wouldn't let Anton Deck like question him or anything. It was just like, no, let's get on with it. What do we have to do? Come on. And he just didn't give a shit about all of the making a TV show bit.
I like that.
And also, obviously, Nigel Farage is in here, but we'll get to him.
Yeah.
He just like straight up went, right, Brexit then. What the fuck was that about?
Yeah.
Why'd you do that for? He kind of just said his piece on that. I don't fully agree with what he was saying about Brexit. I probably agree with it slightly more than I do Nigel Farage. But I just liked how he just like head on just went into Nigel Farage about it.
Went right then.
And then you could see like the stupid like, oh, let's all get along uncomfortableness of everyone else who were like there. And it's like, no, let them have like a heated chat about something that they're both obviously interested in. Like, they weren't exactly coming to blows or going to not get along any more than they already don't get along because of it. So you may as well let people talk about a fucking issue. You know, I hate the attitude where people aren't willing to talk about stuff that they disagree on.
Yeah.
So...
Sorry, I'm going to very quickly be right back. I'm sorry.
Oh my god, Judd's interrupted the fucking segment. Wow. First he's ill and can't make it. First he's late. First, he was in fucking bed. It's not like he was dying or anything. Oh, okay, it's already
yeah, I'm here.
What was that about? Was someone at the door or something?
No, I could hear my dog pawing at the door. I'm the only one here, so I just...
Oh, so you needed to boot it.
Yeah. I had to kick him out.
You had to physically kick him across the room.
Yeah. I picked him up by his collar and I shook him and I went, what?
Okay. Next we have Sam Thompson.
Is he the influencer?
No, it was either that or you should have, or the whatever presenter.
The Master Chef. Well, is it the Master Chef?
No. So when I heard this name, I thought for some reason he was that like Eurovision winner UK or something like that. What was it called?
I don't watch a single Eurovision, so
UK Eurovision guy. Sam Ryder, who I was thinking of, not Sam Thompson.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's very nice, and I'm sure he probably makes decent music or something. There's something about this Sam Ryder guy that pisses me off. I don't know what it is. It's one of, you know when you see someone and you don't really know anything about them, and instantly you're just like, I don't like you. Yeah. But you also kind of feel bad about it because you know that they're probably fine and it's not their fault.
Yeah, you like look at someone and you're like, I have a natural disposition towards you, but that's not fair because I have no idea about like your core beliefs or your personality or anything. I'm just naturally like, I think you're a cunt for no reason.
For no reason. I don't get it. I don't know why. And I think it might be because he just seems really happy in life. And I think he shouldn't be. I think everyone should be more miserable than that. Maybe it's that. I don't know. But for some reason, Sam Ryder, I don't like him. I don't know. I would love to talk to him. Because I think if I spoke like 2 words to him, it would flip instantly. It's one of those things. I don't know. It's just his face. It just pissed me off for some reason. It's a shame. So Sam Thompson, no, he's a TV personality and radio DJ. I think he was on Made in Chelsea is the one he was on. He was on one of those ones, and he's on the radio. He is like a fucking puppy. He's really excited to be around all these people he thinks is cool, and he's obviously a genuine massive fan of the show. So he's there, and like Anton Decker speaking, and he's like just looking up at him with like a smile, like He's like, oh my god, I'm in the show. It's like it feels like an actual normal person being in there.
That's sweet, at least, I guess, isn't it? Like,
so long as he doesn't so long as he doesn't end up being a little bitch in any trials, because that'd flip me from him straight away. So far, because of that, I find him quite endearing. Slightly more cringe than he thinks he is as well, which I also find endearing. When someone's just a bit more cringe than they think they are, it's like, oh, you don't understand.
When they're not like actively trying to hide their cringe like Elon Musk. If they're like sort of just a bit cringy because they're caught up in a situation, that's fine. But that can also tip like too far as well. When like someone's overly cringy and they have no idea that's going on. That can make it even worse. But like if it's just a bit, then it can become endearing, can't it?
He's just about on the right side of that so far.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see, because I know that a lot of the time, people who I like in that sort of regard, if then they have to do some sort of challenge or something, they end up being wimps, and I can't abide people who are a wimp about stuff. So
yeah, especially something that they've signed a contract and to earn like a large sum of money to go and do.
Like, what did you think was going to happen? I can't. Oh, God. Well, speaking of people who are not wimps, actually, Big Farage, Nigel Farage is in there after the success of last year with Matt Hancock being in there. Yeah. Who I think, if anything, should be more controversial than Nigel Farage. For some reason, it seems like... I don't understand why people hate Farage as much as they do, actually. I'm definitely honestly not a Farage lover. I can say that for sure. I am definitely opposing sides to his force of nature, but not as much as most people seem to be. Because realistically, I've heard people saying like things like, oh, all the bad stuff he did in politics, all the lives that he ruined, and also, and Brexit as well, like he made it. Like he made Brexit, like it was his creation.
That's the thing I was going to say. I think the reason why so many people hate him is because he was essentially the figurehead for Brexit. Like, not necessarily he did it. I'm not saying like he wasn't like the Hitler of Brexit, where he was the guy, but he was the de facto like figurehead of it for a good bit. And I think that's why so many people hate him, because so many people hate Brexit.
I think it's just because he was the most famous politician that like specifically said, yes, I really like this.
Yeah.
Any other politicians that were more famous than him didn't like take such a like clear-cut stance on it. And I don't get it. Like, he didn't make Brexit. He didn't really get to decide much of it. In fact, he's not really got to decide much of anything, because he never actually won. Like, I don't get when people are like, all them lives that he's ruined and stuff. What are you talking about? He's not done anything. He's not managed to get in power at all. So I don't get why people hate it. I guess it's maybe because they massively disagree with what he would do if he got in power.
Yeah.
But to me, I think there's more grounds to hate on Matt Hancock than Nigel Farage. But I don't know. It's one of those things though where I hope he just becomes a celebrity instead of a politician after this, and this is kind of the turning point of that. Because I think I would like him more. So far, weirdly, he's one of my favourites. Just focusing on the like I'm a celebrity jungle scenario, he's one of my favourites. Because he's won, so far as I'm aware, unless I've counted wrong or not been paying enough attention, he's won every star that he's had to go for. Bear in mind, I've only seen the first 2 episodes. I think he's doing another trial today. I'm not sure. He's won every star that he can. He's gotten stuck in, and he's just literally not moaned once. He had to do an eating trial with the influence with this other girl, and towards the end of it, he was joking like, "Oh, I think we might have enough stars. Am I right?" And like stuff like that. He's like, "They'd be happy with the amount we've got," and then he like gives a cheeky smile and then eats it anyway. And it's like you can't hate on the guy for how he's been just in this show. That's what I can say. I can say that for sure. When it comes to a lot of other things that he believes in, might have a big problem with it. But I don't know. I don't know. I think people like to hate people of a certain type for some reason, and don't want to actually think about whether they deserve that or not. He's kind of just like, he's a bad guy. I've seen that. It's like, he has to look like the Emperor or something. It's like, I wonder if he's a bad guy,
sat in his fucking chair with his robe on, with fucking lightning coming out of his hands.
Yeah, it's like people who are a certain type of person. Oh, that's bad guy then, without thinking about anything further than that. Anyway, moving on from him, we've got Grace Dent.
Is she the lady from MasterChef?
Yes, yes. Hey, she's a food critic, and I think she's on MasterChef as well. I'm pretty sure. She is fine. I think not got much of opinion on her. She's not really done much. She's done a trial and she kind of did it. You know, she didn't pussy out of like that the Heights trial that they always do at the start. You know, so
yeah.
I'm all right with her so far. Then we've got Nella Rose.
I have no idea.
Guess the other one that you've been guessing, Jeff.
Oh, she's the influencer.
That's the one. No.
Oh.
I'm gonna go with no. We don't like her that much.
Yeah.
She's almost accidentally formed this duo with Nigel Farage by accident, because they were like her and Nigel, and then I think it was the was it the Master? Oh no, it was the This Morning presenter. Came in together as a three, and the This Morning presenter had to do like one thing, and them two were doing kind of the same thing in this trial. And then they both got voted to do the eating trial that I was on about. So, and I think it's because they wanted Farage to do it because he's like controversy hate on him, make him do a trial. And they wanted her to do it because she's been freaking out the most. So, weirdly, right, the first trial they did, she was like going crazy. And I was like, oh, here we go. This is the one that's going to be like pussying out of shit. And then she had to do the eating trial. And she did pretty damn good. They got 9 out of 10 stars, I think it is, on that. Having said that, she was the one that dropped one of the stars. And it just threw me right off again because she ate all this shite and like, you know, Farage's encouraging her, giving her countdowns and all that. And then there was this last one that it weren't any worse than the rest of it. It was about as worse. I can't remember exactly what it was. And she was like, no, that one, I'm just not doing that one. I was like, well, why? Well, you've come this far. Like, you just eat the last one, you pussy. It's like, I don't get it. How can you turn around from freaking out loads, turn yourself around to being brave and eating a bunch of weird shit, and then flip-flop again within two episodes? So I'm like, she's definitely got chance to redeem herself when it comes to that sort of thing. I'm hoping she does. But she's also kind of like, for me, you know that kind of popular personality at the minute? I don't know, I just don't get on with it particularly. It's just not for me.
Yeah.
She also, I don't know what her actual proper heritage is, but it seems like she was probably born in London, but she likes to kind of do this little African accent sometimes. I don't know where that comes from. But I don't find it endearing. Because I think that's because it gives me flashes of a pet peeve of when people say they're from a different country and they're just not. Like when Americans say they're from Ireland and they've never been there, and it's their great granddad who maybe stepped foot in Ireland once. Oh, okay. You know, it kind of just gives me vibes of that.
I thought you're making an Always Sunny reference then.
Oh, no, no. But kind of. So, I don't know. I'm still a bit torn. She's on my negative side slightly at the minute, but hopefully she'll bring it back. Next, we've got Marvin Humes.
Marvin Gaye?
No.
Marvin Gaye? Marvin homosexual?
Marvin Humes.
I'm no idea who that is.
So maybe this will help you guess this one, Judd. If I do this for everybody in love, go and put your hands up.
Oh,
everybody
so he's a singer.
Put your hands up. Yeah, but do you know what from?
Is that I don't know. Who is that?
It's from JLS. Chat's saying, what's your thoughts on Nella with the whole parents thing? I've only seen the first 2 episodes, so if that's from, I don't know, the latest episode as I'm recording this, I don't know.
Yeah, spoilers.
If it is from the latest episode, I'll be watching it right after this, and I'll tweet my thoughts on it. But if it's not, then remind me what. If it's from the first 2 episodes, remind me what you're talking about, because I might have missed it. Nowadays, I don't have much time to properly pay attention to these things, so I kind of miss quite a bit of it, if I'm being honest. So Marvin Humes, he's one of the guys from JLS. He seems alright.
That is another one I did actually know, to be honest, but I totally forgot he was in it.
He seems okay. He seems like he can't be asked to be there most of the time. Which I get. He's probably been offered a fair amount of money and thinks, might be interesting.
Yeah, the money from JLS dried up, and he wants to fucking get more money. That's why he's there. Yeah.
Well, I kind of think fair enough. So long as he's honest about it, I can't really be asked to do all this jungle stuff, but it's like a job, innit? If he was kind of like that about it, then I'm I'm fine with it. But so he seems all right. He's been humouring Sam Thompson, the giddy puppy guy, and teaching him some JLS dance and stuff like that. So I think he seems like a nice enough guy.
All right, what would you do? Episode 5, the 2 of them kiss.
Well, that would be a big drama. That would be interesting. I hope they do.
Yeah.
We've got. Do you remember me talking about the attractive 20-year-old that they shove in there? She's 31, not 20. Danielle Harold.
I don't know. I have no idea.
She was on EastEnders, which so was your mum. As I keep.
Oh yeah, she was. Yeah.
Do you think your mum could get on this just from that? On EastEnders. She weren't on it very long though. Is a main thing.
No, but it's not just EastEnders she's been on. She was on Hollyoaks for a bit.
Oh,
she was on. Right. Not long. No, not Hollyoaks. It's a fucking it's like a hospital one. Casualty. She was on Casualty for a bit. It was Darren that was on Hollyoaks. She was also on. What's the other thing? This honestly probably would be the thing that got her in. Actually, was that she was the voice for Tetley Tina in the new animated Tetley Tina. I honestly feel like that'd be more like, she's the voice of Tetley Tina.
I don't know if that'd get her on. I don't know.
I do with the fucking quality celebrities that you bring to me or that go on this show.
Mostly just because the face isn't famous from that, though. It's like the character is famous. I think maybe EastEnders might be the one, if anything else about it.
She was also, nobody would know this one, but she was also on a not so famous show with Nick Frost. It was like a sci-fi thing, and she was in that a lot more. She was so Nick Frost in that was
what was it called,
I think it was called Intergalactic, or something like that. But it was basically Nick Frost was in it, and he was the protagonist.
Hyperdrive.
Hyperdrive, that was it. And so Nick Frost was this guy in space who is supposed, he's still a Nick Frost type of character where he's like a goofball and silly and stuff, but he's still this space captain. And he used to watch a show where about this space captain who found this beautiful alien woman, and making fun of the old sort of Star Trek things. And the beautiful alien woman, who was a recurring character, was my mum. And Nick Frost would have these dreams where he was with the beautiful alien woman instead of this guy who was seeing on this show. So she was on that. So, but I don't think that's I
might have to watch this show now. That could be really interesting.
It was pretty funny actually. It was I'm
gonna watch it. The main problem is I've just looked on the cast and crew for that show, and she's nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing she just doesn't have an IMDb page, which I think that if you don't have an IMDb page, but fucking I don't know, Brian Tellis or I don't fucking know, Chris Brailsford, who was in one episode, does. Well, maybe that's not famous enough. I do need to add Hyperdrive on my to-watch list, though, because that could be fun. One sec. Hyperdrive. There, I did it. Okay.
No, I do. I watched it years and years ago, but I do remember it actually being a good show. But it never lasted super long. I think it only got 2 seasons.
Yeah, it did. So Danielle Harold, she's from EastEnders. She seems Again, I don't know. She's not been on it enough. Medium. Nick Pickard.
I feel like I know that one.
You have said what this guy's from already. You've mentioned it.
I've said what he's from.
You've mentioned it.
EastEnders?
No, wrong one. Hollyoaks, that's the one.
Yeah, okay,
Hollyoaks
right,
actor.
yeah.
You'd probably know his face if you saw him. He's one of those that's only been on that basically and been on it forever. He seems nice. Seems like a decent guy. Just like a normal chap.
He seem like a bitch.
Yeah, not too much to say about him. Not seen him do much trials or anything like that, but he seems jolly enough. Don't really mind him. So those are the ones that I'm aware of being there already, but when I've looked up this list, there's a couple more that I guess will be new additions. Maybe they've come in this episode that episodes I've not seen yet. But we've also got Frankie Dettori. He sounds like he should be a right-wing politician with that name.
Well, I was just going to say his name makes me feel like he should be part of the mob.
Well, it sounds like Frankie the Tory. Frankie the Tory.
Hey, yo, Frankie the Tory. Hey, how's it going? He's a mob guy that's actually got a keen interest in politics.
It says that he's a champion jockey.
Oh, damn.
Who rides horses fast.
Yeah.
I don't know. I get that's who he is. I've not don't know anything about him. And then the last one, who to me, maybe Nigel Farage probably is the most famous on here, but this guy very much could be the most famous. I know more about him. Tony Bellew.
I have no idea who that is. I've never even heard that name.
He is a former champion boxer.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Do you know Alexander Usyk?
That comes to mind.
So Alexander Usyk is supposed to be fighting Tyson Fury early next year for undisputed heavyweight glory. Tony Bellew had I think it was 2 really epic fights with Alexander Usyk when Alexander was at cruiserweight still. So he's to me, Tony Bellew fluctuates a bit as to what mental space he's in. Most of the time, he seems like a really nice guy, like a really quality guy. But sometimes I think he might. Sometimes it comes across that he's in a bit of a bad space mentally, and then comes across as a little bit of a cunt. But
do you think that's because he shot so many fucking steroids into his body that his brain just turns to shit?
He's not done any steroids, I can tell you that for sure. But he has been punched in the noggin a lot of times, so it could be to do with that.
That might be it, yeah.
But Tony Bellew, I like Tony Bellew in total. I mean, he's the only one to me that comes in as a positive thoughts on him to start with. Like, you know what I mean? So there you go. That's everyone that's supposedly going to be in the jungle this year. What do you think about that, Judd? Any thoughts about I'm a Celebrity in general for this year?
You know, as every year, I could not give a fuck. I could not give a fuck about anybody in there. I couldn't give a fuck about the show. I couldn't give a fuck about Ant and Dec and the Weasley fucking faces. No.
Are you not interested in watching some people, some shitty rich people suffer?
No, I'm not. I'm just not bothered. It's like, and the thing is, they're not really suffering. They're not truly suffering. Like they might act out like they're suffering sometimes, but they're not. They're actually not. Like they're getting so much money for doing this. They're fucking, they really, if they really wanted to, they could leave whenever they wanted. And but you're looking at all this, you're seeing it them in the camps and stuff and them living like shit. But literally fucking not even 10 yards away from them, there's a full fucking cast and crew of people with like a relief tent set up in case anything goes wrong. And if anybody's feeling super hungry, they probably do just have regular food on the side. I'm not interested.
This is a problem with it nowadays, though, isn't it? Because I think back in the day, when it first started coming out, and one of the ones that's biggest impact for me is Big Brother, because the whole thing about Big Brother was, oh, we're going to trap them in a house with each other, and they're not allowed to go anywhere, and it's going to drive them mental, and we're going to see what chaos ensues. That was the entire point, was to drive them mental and see what happens to them.
The point was the man.
Yeah, and back then, I genuinely do think that there was a hell of a lot less, stuff like that surrounding it. And also, celebrities were different. Back then, you could be famous for something. Like, you could, like, as in, you would be like a really good skateboarder or a really good boxer or, like, a musician or something like that. Whereas now, they still exist, and technically those are kind of the same sort of celebrities that are going in. But the reason why they're famous for doing those sorts of things isn't because they're really good at it. That is why, but it's not the main reason. The main reason is that people like their personality. It's like people go to see certain actors in films not because they're especially good at acting most of the time. It's because they like the interviews that they've seen with that actor that makes them want to see their films. And it's the same sort of thing with this. The people that go in, they gamble on one, maybe two controversial characters like Nigel Farage's this year. But the vast majority of them, they put them in because people are going to, like, they're just, like, normie people like them enough. They've got that mojo that normie people like.
They have that mojo Jojo from the hit show Powerpuff Girls.
Exactly. Whereas back in the day, people didn't get famous for that. So you'd get a lot more dickheads being like, publicly people would be dickheads a lot of the time because they could, because they'd still be famous. And you don't really... Anyone who's a diva nowadays, they lose fans so quickly because of being a diva. So you can't put a famous, diva personality in there anymore because they're not as famous to start with because people don't like following people like that.
You also can't put diva from Overwatch in because she's not a real person.
That's a good point, actually, because I have been waiting for D.Va from Overwatch to be in the jungle. But
May can go in. May's real.
It is. If any of them are real, it's probably D.Va. I think I've seen more real people dressed as D.Va than any other character from Overwatch.
No, man, Winston, talking gorilla.
Yeah. That's the real one right there.
Yeah.
What about the giant hamster?
Yeah. Well, the hamster's not giant. He's just in a large, robotic, giant ball. He's a normal size hamster.
Okay. Regular size. Sorry, I got that one wrong. But I do think that's the reasons why it used to be better, because there wasn't as much support. The celebrities that went in there were more dramatic and kind of, hated the insects and things like that. They were less down to earth, so it affected them more. Drama was more kind of encouraged, and you couldn't just, and I don't think they were just allowed to leave back in the day.
Yeah,
I think they would potentially have been removed if enough shit happened. Like if they started trying to burn everyone's belongings, they would have probably been removed. But I think they would have had to, contractually, they would have had to stay in there. Whereas nowadays, because of mental health. Everyone else has to get out. And don't get me wrong, the vast majority of the time, I am definitely for positive mental health if you can manage it, because it's incredibly difficult. But when you're signing up to something like this, that's the point. They're adults. They're making the decision to go in there and go through some mental torture. Like, if they want to do it, they should be allowed to do it.
Fucking mental torture.
I don't want to say that Americans are onto something, but I swear to God, we need more fucking freedom nowadays. It's weird because, adults just aren't allowed to choose for themselves. Now, on one hand, the vast majority of adults are completely shit at making good decisions. But the people who actually end up making decisions for them, the government and things like that, they're really shit too. So it doesn't matter. Everyone's shit at making the decisions, so you may as well let the people have the freedom to make their own decisions as well. Another one, I've got on a rant here, you're going to have to bear with me. One of the other things that pisses me off about that in our country is sugar-free drinks and the sugar tax. fuck the sugar tax. I hate it. If I'm going to have an unhealthy drink, I'm going to have some Coca-Cola, right? If I have the diet one, it's shit for me as well. The normal one,
and you know what?
really bad for you. Diet one, really bad for you. They're just
legalize heroin as well while we're at it as well. I should be allowed to make that choice. Like,
that one might be too far. I think that one's too far. Well, to a certain extent, right? In not even in an ideal world, in just like a half decent world, sure.
Yeah,
fine.
Yeah, no, I have often contemplated some sort of system where it's like, you know, you can go to a place to pay for heroin, but it's like a much more sort of like, I don't know, like,
no, I don't mean
monitored and controlled substance. But but like the idea is that like it's sort of a center for addicts that can sort of go to slowly come down off of the fix with like lower and lower doses with a purer strain of heroin that's been worked on by like, you know, people like scientists and doctors and stuff, and not fucking Jim in his back garage fucking throwing up, you know,
there is
whatever kind
that
of shit.
Do that.
Like,
I don't know how effective it is
like,
actually, but
yeah.
But my point is that, in theory, everything should be legal, and people should just be smart enough to not make stupid fucking decisions like doing heroin. Like, that's one of the decisions that's such an obvious shit decision. Like, I can't get over it. Like, I can't understand why anyone would choose to do that. You know, if it was like genuinely a choice. Because something that I kind of fear is just being in a crowd and someone just stabs you with some heroin. It's just like, well, fuck, I'm addicted now. That's it. Nothing can be done. It's that addictive. It's like, I'm gonna crave some heroin again at some point. And like, that's kind of a fear. But in general, like, the choice to do stuff like that blows my mind. It's like, in theory, everything should be legal and people should stop being so shit. But that's not how it works. But I do think that, like, when it comes to something like sugar, fuck off. Let people who are grown-ass adults make their own decisions. I genuinely don't believe that diet drinks are better for you than ones with sugar in anyway. Like, if you're gonna have, like, fake sweetener shit, or sugar, or actual sugar, I know that the actual sugar that's going to be in those drinks is going to be processed too, but at least it's got, like, some resemblance of being natural.
Yeah.
Like, you can get sugar naturally. You can't get aspartame or sweetener B46 naturally. That's not anywhere else. So
it's not in the environment.
So, that does my head in. And it's gotten to the point where a lot of places don't even offer, like, the sugar version. I can just about deal with the sugar version costing a bit more. I still think that still pisses me off, because I don't think people should be penalised for having a difference of opinion of what's healthier. But it pisses me off when there's just not another option. Sometimes I'll go to a place, like I remember once I was on kind of a bit like a weekend away, and I went to this pub for a Sunday dinner, and they asked what drink I want, and I said, oh, I'd like a Coke or a Pepsi, and I said just a normal one, not a diet. And they're like, oh, we don't have diet. And I went, oh, I'll have water then.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh. And like they got, like, they weren't like cross, but I could see the mild annoyance on them. You know, like, oh, what, is diet not good enough for you? And like, no, I would rather it goes full fat Coke, water, Diet Coke in my kind of preferences. I'd rather have water.
I totally get what you mean as well, because like I think I'd rather have water over a Diet Coke, because I don't like how Diet Coke tastes.
It tastes super chemically to me.
Yeah,
and sometimes even the sugar versions of those drinks kind of taste a bit chemically, because there is other, like, chemical junk in them. Even when there's the sugar ones, but it's a lot more noticeable when it's the diet ones. I just had recently. I had a Tesco meal deal for my lunch, and I always like to try the new interesting shit. You know what I'm like?
Yeah.
The new drinks that they've got in the Tesco near me are called candy cans.
Okay.
And the two flavours they had on offer one was a Christmas one, which was a candy cane flavour, which I guess is probably just peppermint or whatever, for a drink. And then the other one was toffee apple, and it was like, it's Wonka branded, and I'm wondering if it's to advertise that new movie.
Yeah.
I can't see what's his face, Charlize Theron? No, that's the woman. What's he called?
Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah. I can't see his fucking angular ass face on here anywhere, but I think he's
fucking Paul Atreides from Dune ass face.
He's fucking Pythagoras theorem ass face. He's so angular. Have you ever seen a guy who's more sharp than that? I feel like I would cut myself.
You do feel like he is like some sort of like cutting hazard, don't you? Like you could get a piece of paper, put it against his skin, and you know when you just like that. You get that perfect glide on scissors. It'd be like that.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so I went for the toffee apple one anyway, and it's zero sugar, and already drinks that are candy flavored. It's a bit kind of gross and sickly and a bit artificial.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
but the fact that it's zero sugar as well, it was just it's gross, to be honest. It's just really like artificial gross flavor. So yeah. Do you want to rant about anything?
No, I haven't got any rants in me. All I had was my fucking hospital, story. So
I'm surprised you've not managed to rant about the hospital more, because you were there from what, like 5 a.m. while 10 a.m.
Yeah, well, I was 10 to 5 until like 10, basically. Yeah,
it was 5 hours.
Yeah, 5 hours, and I literally got there, like at 10 to 5 in the morning. There was people in like ahead of me, like I didn't expect it to be a quick thing, but I just think five fucking hours to essentially. And one of the things that pisses me off most about the hospital is you go in, you sit down, you wait to be seen, you're seen, and then the first thing that happens is you get taken into a separate room and they take like your bloods and all your stuff and like all that shit. Then you go back into the waiting room, wait like another 2 hours, and then you get called into another room and you do the same thing again. They take your blood and then they do some other tests and then you go back in the waiting room. It's like, why do you... Yeah, like, what happened? What the fuck happened? Why did they have to do it? There had to be a whole 2 hour in between, do it again, and now I gotta wait another hour in the waiting room. Like, what the fuck is that? Why?
It's just crazy.
That fucking annoys me. Yeah, but I mean that's probably all I gotta say. I thought I was gonna have another like little story to go into this with at the hospital, because I was sat there and it rolled around to like 5:30 in the morning. My throat's like fucking literally like burning from the inside. I've not eaten anything. I'm so tired. And this guy walks in and sits right next to me, and he's just fucking talking to himself, and like full on talking to himself about something, and I'm like, no.
What did you do? Like, because if you go into the hospital, did you like prep? Did you like bring a charger and like some headphones or something to watch movies on your phone? Or...
No, I didn't. Because I was so freaked out. I was like, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. And obviously, because like. I fucking drove. I drove because like I know I shouldn't have done, thinking that that I couldn't breathe and stuff, but like I could still breathe out of my nose. So I was like, right, okay, I know I'm not passing out. I'm not like delirious or anything. I'm not like well, I'm driving, thinking I'm driving fine. So, that wasn't a problem, but I probably should have woken. I didn't want to wake my elderly, like, grandparents up, okay? And if I didn't want to do it.
Wake up? Do you think they heard the door or anything?
No, they didn't. They thought I'd gone to work, so they woke up at what time they'd normally wake up. It were only until I came back at like 11 when I was like, I've been at the hospital all day.
God.
So yeah.
So what did you do then? I can't. That to me, that's one of my biggest fears. Just having to sit somewhere for 5 hours. Like I've been thinking recently that you should do more being bored. I think it's good, especially for people who are creative. It's good to be bored and think about shit more often. And I've been trying to like maybe not go on my phone if I'm just waiting somewhere and things like that a bit more. Sometimes if I have to go to the closest shop to me, I might not put earphones in. I might just walk there and think. But 5 hours, that would terrify me, to just be sat for 5 fucking hours.
Well, I mean, I had my phone and it lasted me like literally just until I got seen for the last time. Like it died just then, so it was fine. But
But what did you do on your phone? For even even if you've got your phone, what are you gonna do on your phone for 5 hours? Did you have earphones or something, or?
No, I didn't even grab earphones. Like, I literally ran straight out the house. The only things I grabbed were like my phone, my wallet, and my car keys. That's all I had on me. So I just fucking like went on Facebook and YouTube for a bit.
So you played YouTube out loud then?
Well, not like super out loud. It was like only
as quiet as you can.
As quiet as I could. Yeah, and I was sat like a fair bit away from people, so I didn't. It wasn't like Kid playing his music on the at full volume on the back of the bus kind of thing. So that's big. It fucking sucked. It wasn't good. I'm not going to say I enjoyed the experience, but yeah, that's what I did.
I don't know. So, I would have definitely picked up my earphones and my phone on the way at least.
I ran straight out of the house because I was like, I need to know what the fuck's going on here, and also as well, I didn't know about the whole the glands that you've got in your throat that like fucking drain the infection. Yeah. So all I knew is I woke up, I couldn't fucking breathe, and oh, by the way, there's a huge fucking lump in the side of your throat. This one didn't swell up because you've got two. This one didn't swell up because it's all like here. The infection, it's all like this side of my throat. So only this one like blew up. So I just had one massive fucking lump in my throat, and like, so I was freaking the fuck out. I was like, I'm going. Like, I was like, I honestly, I didn't know if like I'd get there. I'd be like, can't breathe, big lump, and they'd be like, right, operating table. Like, I didn't know. So I was.
To me, the fear of being sat there with nothing to do for 5 hours outweighs that I might die if I don't get there as soon as possible. I would have packed a small bag. I would have probably grabbed my phone, earphones, keys, wallet, a charger, or maybe a portable charger. I would have grabbed all those things for sure, because I just can't. I get so bored. Like it's definitely ADHD type of thing, but I just I don't know. It's hard to describe because it's not actually something that you can describe as a fear, but like it's like an irrational fear of mine. Like it's just like it's scaring me. It's like that's the real horror film for me. It's like, and he turned up to the waiting room and there was nothing to do. I've just sent you a nice little meme to react to for the end.
I'm not going to react to it.
Okay, everyone will never know.
Yeah,
never know the meme. Well, if you listen to all of this podcast today, then well done. You have to listen to the entire thing to make sure that you don't get Judd's illness, because if you didn't listen to it all, you'll never realize, but you're like going to get Judd's illness. It's one of those chain emails from back in the day.
My name is Cordelia, and if you do not send this to 5 people, I will show up in your house at 12 a.m.
Yeah, you got to share this podcast to 5 people, otherwise.
Or my friend Cordelia will show up.
Right, so make sure you do that.
I'm going to do you a drawing for your podcast.
Oh no! And then you will have to wait in the waiting room for 4 hours with no entertainment.
You bitch!
Oh dear. Right, that's another one in the books, Judd.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Is the new season of Invincible out yet?
It is, yeah. Okay. And so there's 3 episodes out now. I've only watched the first 2 because I'm watching it with Dalton. So I have to sort of like wait till my little brother's over so I can watch it with him. So yeah, the other one, then episode 4 will be out tomorrow because they release them on Friday. So
I've got so much shit to catch up with because I'm watching Doctor Who. I'm watching Derren Brown. I've got I'm a Celebrity going on that I didn't expect to be another thing that I'm watching. I try and tune into my Apex team that I follow live as much as I can. And so I've got all of those going off, but there's also next season of Good Omens that I really want to watch, Gen V that I've not even started yet, Invincible season 2, Loki season 2, Scott Pilgrim's come out with a Netflix anime, which I've actually seen the first episode of, but I want to kind of watch it all in one go. Then I'm also I just watched, I don't know why I started another thing, but I just watched the first episode of the latest South Park series, because I think I want to watch the latest South Park, and it's not all out yet though, so I'm probably gonna leave that till it comes out. But there's so much shit I have to catch up with. There's all sorts of movies that have ended up being added to I have to watch this as well. Like Steve-O's come out with a new special, and his specials are really fucking good because he essentially releases them on his own website, so there's basically no restrictions as to what you can show in it. Because like even Jackass movies, like there's a certain level of restriction that you can show in a movie. It's a lot less than TV, but you know, and obviously YouTube is even more restricted than TV. So, but because he puts it on his own website and then just kind of like advertises it on his YouTube and that, it's fucking mental, some of the stuff he does on those. So it's really good, actually. I saw a clip from a movie called The Art of Self-Defense. Have you ever?
I feel like I've heard of that movie, yeah, but
it's got Jesse Eisenberg in it. And the only clip I've seen is this boss comes over to him and he's like, "Oh, I really needed those papers done by the end of the day. I've been asking you for a while. Can you make sure it's done?" And he's like being really nice about it. And he just stands up and punches him in the throat. And I just thought, okay, I'm sold. So I kind of want to watch that. And then, but there's also like the Hunger Games reboot that I think I might watch.
It's not a reboot. It's a prequel.
Prequel. Yeah. There's a lot of shit on here.
Oh my gosh, it's one of the first ever Hunger Games. Oh my goodness, and Snow's one of the contestants, and oh my god.
Oh, I didn't know that. Thanks, spoilers.
So
I kind of want to watch it, almost because I think it's going to be shit, and it's like, okay, I don't have to watch any more of them. Like, that's kind of what I want to do with it. Kind of similar to Harry Potter with the Fantastic Beasts. Yeah. Like the second Fantastic Beasts was shit. I'm like, okay, I don't have to watch any more of those then. So, which is good. I want to be able to be like, okay, I don't need to enjoy any of these.
I fucking loved the Hunger Games books when I read them. I read them when I was about 14, and I think it took me like 2 days to read the first one, and then I loved the first one so much that I read the other two like in the same day, like the next day. I really liked them.
I could never picture you reading a book.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. I actually read fucking loads of loads. But yeah, no, you could never. It's weird as well because I can't imagine myself sitting and reading a book. But like when I get caught up in a book series, I really get caught up in it. Like the most I've ever been swept up in a book series is a series called Artemis Fowl. Do you know about Artemis Fowl?
Yeah, it was really big when we were younger. Like it was almost like kind of teen, like kind of mystery thriller type of dealio, like fantasy stuff.
It was fantasy because basically what it was is there was a kid called Artemis Fowl. The book, I think when the first book starts, he's 12, and I think like in the last book he's like 16 or 17 or something. And the idea is that the Fowl family used to be mega rich. They were like one of the richest families in Ireland, or maybe even the richest family in Ireland. And they had like deep underworld ties, but that's where they got all the money from. But the dad, like Artemis's dad, just like disappeared. We'd find out later that he got captured by Russians of all people. Mm-hmm. And because of his disappearance, his mum went fucking insane. Like she was bedbound all the time, just like murmuring shit to herself in the bed. So it was all the only people that were left of this, like, you know, once great house was Artemis and his butler, who was like, you know, this super big buff dude who like knew karate and shit. It was all
called Alfred.
yeah. No, it wasn't. But it wasn't Alfred. And basically, Artemis was super smart. He was like an evil genius, basically. And his idea to regain the Fowl fortune, because they'd lost all the money at this point after the father's disappearance, was to find fairies find fairy like where they lived, and basically fucking shake down these fairies to give him their gold. Like that was his plan. He was like, I'm gonna find these fairies, like fucking bully him and be like, give me your gold, and it worked. He fucking did it. He like got all of his fortune back from like mugging fairies. It was great. It was
I think there's a reason I never got into that then. I just, you know what's another weird thing? It's a me problem.
Well, anyway, before we go on, I wanted to quickly say that so there was like 6 or 7 books in that series, and I didn't have a PlayStation or anything because we were away somewhere, but I had all of these books on me, and in 2 days or 3 days, I read 5 of these books. Yeah. I read 5 of them. I just fucking blazed through them all because I got super into it and I had nothing else to do. So yeah, and then I got my PlayStation back, and then I
then you just abandoned books forever again. Oh dear, I just can't like. What do people? I can't get it. Reading books, I just can't get it. It's like.
It's just the same as getting caught up in like a TV series.
I understand
just like
getting caught up in a story. Yeah. That's not the bit I don't get. It's like, when would you do it?
When you find the opportunity, I suppose. It's like I couldn't say. What I used to do a lot is back when I used to read like my Warhammer books. I listen to them audible while I'm working now.
That's very different to me. That.
Yeah. No, it is, but what I used to do is I used to like read them on the bus, like, you know, if I'd be going to college or be coming home from college or going to work or anything. I used to read them a lot on the bus, and that's how I'd like, you know, in those sort of situations, like I was in the waiting room for 5 hours. That'd be, you know, an opportunity like that would be.
But it seems like to me that the only reason to read a book, like to specifically read a book, I'm not talking about audiobooks, very different.
Yeah.
It's like when there's no other choice, when it's like that's the only entertainment that you can pick.
I will say that is usually the reason I do it, but I know, even though I do get caught up as much as I do, and I do enjoy reading, that usually the reason I am reading is because there's nothing else for me to do at the time.
Yeah, I can't imagine, like, actively wanting to just sit and read a book. Like, that's the thing that you're gonna like, that you're seeking to do. Like, you want to fill your free time with it, rather than like you've got a commute that you have to do, and rather than just sit and stare into blank space, the only option is a book. Because I'd still prefer to listen to an audiobook or watch videos on my phone or something like that.
Some people do though. Some people will come in, they'll like get a glass of wine and they'll sit down with a book. And like that's their entertainment for the night.
It's just
my nan does it. My nan reads fucking tons of books. She's been reading. My nan's been reading. So you obviously know J.K. Rowling.
Yeah.
She did like other books completely detached from all the Harry Potter stuff, and they were like true crime books. They were like, you know, thriller books. She actually wrote them under a pseudonym because she didn't want to like ride the coattails of like, you know, Harry Potter. So she like went under the name of like a dude. It was like a fake name, and like
weird how those pseudonyms always come out though, and people just happen to find out.
I know. But basically, what happened was this book series got big, and everybody was like, "Who is this person?" And then later she came out, and she was like, when she'd finished, she was like, "It was me, by the way. I was the guy. I was the guy the whole time." And like oh cool, yeah.
Well. I don't know. I'm sure it's great. Like, it's obviously just something that I don't get. It's not like I'm saying people are stupid.
You also can't do it.
I also can't read well at all. But it's not like I think people are stupid or like weird for enjoying books or just sitting down and reading a book and that's what they want to do. I just like, it doesn't compute to me. I can never just imagine sitting and only reading a book. It just blows my mind. Like, surely you must have some background music or something, but then, like, what if the background music doesn't match what you're reading, because you can't really know what's going to happen next, or even you might not know what track's going to come on next. So, and plus, if you've got music with lyrics, that could be a bit distracting for when you're trying to read as well, and I don't know. I just think it's just weird.
I used to like listening to music when I were reading my Warhammer books. If it was like a big battle or something, I'd put like metal on or something. Like I used to do that a lot. So
yeah, sometimes I like to put music on while I'm playing something like Civ. I've done my you know how there's certain games where it's like, oh yeah, I need a bit of that again. You know, it's like every so often I have to play Minecraft for like 20 hours straight.
No, I know your Civ 6 or Civ 5 or whichever one you play. It's my Total War Warhammer 3, where it's like yes, I have beaten every faction and taken over the entire world on Total War Warhammer 3. But what if I did it again though?
Yeah, that's what I do. I kind of go through. I do a war victory, a science victory, a culture victory, and then like one more war victory, and then I'm like, okay, I'll come back to this again in 2 years.
There's only war victories in Total War, so every time I am just doing the exact same thing over and over again.
It's funny with Minecraft though as well, because I'll start a new world in Minecraft and I'll have all these plans, and I'll almost make myself like a task list of stuff that I want to do. And then eventually I'll be halfway through doing one of them. It'll not be that I tick everything off the task list and I'm like, okay, I'm satisfied now. I'll be halfway through doing one of them and go, bored now, and just turn it off, and then don't revisit it again.
I get what you mean by that. I like doing stupid shit in my games like that. Like on that Total War Warhammer. So I'm playing as this dude who's basically a herald of the god of like excess and pleasure and shit like that. You know, like sex Satan basically. And then one of the factions in the Total Warhammer is like a very pious, devout sort of like French Catholic inspired thing where they worship like the Lady of the Lake and like being you know pious and shit. And the main leader of this faction is like this woman who, whenever specifically my character goes to like talk to her, she's always like, away from you repulsive scum, I will not talk to you degenerate, shit like that. But when I found her, like my empire was making fucking shit tons of gold. It was just like every turn it was like millions of gold. So I'd like used to just like go to her and she'd be like, away from me degenerate scum, and every turn I'd just go, here's 1 million gold, bye. She's like, oh, okay, all right, okay, then I suppose I can use this to defeat you with, and then next turn I go, here's another 1 million, bye. And then you just see like the fucking relationship meter going up and up. And I essentially, this entire empire that is all about like being pious and like devout and being a good like Christian soul, I just won them over to my empire by giving them millions and millions of like dollars. And they were like, you know what, maybe we can do a bit of this sex and degeneracy thing. It obviously pays well. So.
It's almost fun to like create your own headcanon in a lot of games like that, isn't it? I do a similar thing with Civ, obviously, of like whatever happens in that, and it's quite good. I've got a movie on here, by the way, on my watch list that I've marked as to watch with you.
Okay.
And I think it's because it might be like, I've not actually seen it, but it might be like, I don't know, on a similar level to maybe like your what the fuck do you call it? Like Human Centipede, Serbian film, fucking what's the other one? Tideland, maybe.
Yeah.
All of those things.
Or a Serbian film, which is my one that I said don't watch to you. Yeah.
It's a horror film. And that's kind of the extent I know about it, I think. It's, I don't know. It seems like one of those kind of... It's not rated very well, actually. It's. I think it's one of those... Like, I think MatPat's made a video on it, for example.
Yeah.
MatPat Film Theory, the scariest movie you've never seen. Skinamarink.
I know about Skinamarink.
Oh, did I not see the title of it? I thought I did.
No, but I know Skinamarink.
Have you seen it?
I have seen Skinamarink. I don't know how. I actually think you really wouldn't like it, if I'm being honest. It's very slow. It's very slow.
Okay.
It's very slow, yet it's only like 40 minutes.
Right. Maybe I'll not watch it then. I can't remember why I put this on here. And I think I kind of wanted to leave it that way. because then it'd be more of like a mystery.
Yeah,
maybe I'll just watch the film theory video on it. That might be the best thing to do. That's nearly 19 minutes, so
yeah, it probably does. It also probably does a better job of like getting across what the movie's trying to fucking get across, anyway. So.
Yeah, it's almost like when I watched the Pyrocynical video on The Platform.
Yeah.
It was so long and good that it was like, wow, that was fun to watch. I'm not going to watch the movie.
Yeah. I did, but then I watched the movie and I was like, you know what, that wasn't as good as when Pyro talked.
Yeah, I've taken that off my list then. But...
Yeah.
Right.
I enjoyed it just because it was like a very different way of tackling horror. But it's a very slow way of tackling horror, and it's not very like sort of. It doesn't hold your hand all the way through, which can be fine, but it also can leave you thinking like, well, what the fuck have I just spent 40 minutes watching?
The best horror film I've seen definitely recently is the Talk to Me one. It came out last year, maybe, or like earlier this year, but like before Halloween time. We watched it this year, and I just thought it's not like mind-blowingly good. It was nice. It was solid. But yeah. Anyway, I've got to go catch up on I'm a Celebrity and see if Nigel Farage has been eaten by a snake.
I've got food showing up like any second now. So
are you sure you're going to be able to eat that with your cancerous throat?
No, it's fine. The cancer's all gone now. It only took a bit. Yeah, I can swallow now. Like fine. It's Yeah, it's a bit. It's a. Oh, maybe that's where the infection came from. Oh, is that a bye to me as well, or?
Yeah. I wanted to see if you would hang up as well.
No, I didn't know if you were just saying bye to them or bye to me as well.
No, I thought that was a funny thing to end the conversation.
Okay.
Actually, no, not bye. Something slightly important. Next week, can we podcast on Wednesday?
Yeah.
Okay. Same sort of deal. If you want to, whatever you want to do, if you want to do it from yours or come over, it's fine.
And now you might have forgot this, so I'm just going to remind you. But next week is Winter Games.
Yes.
Yeah.
Round of applause for Judd remembering something. Way. Yeah. So next Wednesday we'll do podcast, and then obviously come over after work on Friday for Winter Games weekend.
You might have to shoot me a message, because you know what I'm like.
Don't worry, you know what I'm like.
Goddamn
Right. Bye.